This is a typical fall scene in southern Ontario. Soybeans being picked by a combine and loaded into a transport truck. Within hours, these soybeans will be in Hamilton. They'll be hydraulically pressed, the oil extracted, the crushed soybean meal shipped out to its next destination in a large cargo ship. These soybeans could end up in China or on your plate in one form or another. Soybeans are a global commodity traded on stock markets around the world. These beans, this land, the farmer and the combine are part of a highly organized and highly industrialized food system. And it's this system which brings author Sarah Elton to Savor Stratford, a culinary festival celebrating a different kind of agriculture.
Okay. Here, I'll take parsnips and 2 eggplant and black kale, please.
Okie dokie.
Elton may be here to promote her book, but she's first and foremost a fan of food. So she shops before she talks.
I know, it's amazing. Does it have a different flavor at all, or just a different
I find it
shape?
a little milder
Oh, really?
than the regular cabbage, yeah.
I love the shape. I can't resist buying unusual vegetables. So.
Good.
Oh, you know what? I'll take also 2 leeks, please. 2 leeks.
Elton's book is trendy, her blog popular. She's a food columnist for CBC Radio and writes for national magazines and newspapers. She's helping to satisfy the public's appetite for food information. When television chefs are nearing rock star status and food-related books are topping the charts, Elton's words carry influence.
My daughter came home from this birthday party with a cookie. It was in her loop bag. It was in the shape of a pig. It had pink icing, and it looked like it had been baked in a bakery in our neighborhood. But it was shrink wrapped, and I thought, that's strange. So I flipped it over, and I read the writing on the back, and in small letters it said, "Made in China." This really highlighted the environmental cost of our food system. Talking about the industrial food system these days is pretty depressing. I can get down thinking about the way our food system works. But there is good news, and that good news, you can see it here today, that there are people who are building a new way. You know, we call it the local food movement. It's made up of all sorts of people, farmers, chefs, foodies, policymakers, all sorts of people who are working together right now to build a better way.
According to Elton, that better way is local food, a concept that binds together consumer and producer, an awareness of what we eat, how it was produced, and taste.
What?
To not like maple syrup.
What's that? She said it's just stupid not to like maple syrup.
Oh, I know.
Whoops. Make sure you get your beans in there.
Oh, that's good too.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Savor Stratford is specifically geared towards bringing together local producers with interested consumers.
I wanted to bring some down and eat it for lunch.
The day started out with the farmers market lining the Avon River and outdoor musical concerts and barbecues in the park. And tonight we have a barbecue blues and brews, and tomorrow's tasting event where we pair chefs and farmers. So it's grown quite a bit since the first festival 2 years ago. Now the public understands what's going on, you know, and they want to find local. So, you know, they talk to the farmers and they can talk to them about where they're farming or what the product is and where the food's coming from. It's a really important part of the festival. So we make sure that everything on site is local. So even the barbecue vendors that are not-for-profits, everything is really authentic, and that was really important to us. So, and I think it's becoming more and more important to the public as well.
And then once we have a closer connection to our food and where it comes from, food becomes part of our lives again. I mean, this is what this festival's about. Because in 2010, we are so busy. We don't have time for our food. You know, that's why when we go into the supermarket, I mean, the supermarket's become a takeout restaurant. That's where it's headed. It's all pre-prepared foods. But when we don't cook, we don't engage with our food, and we lose something. I think that cooking and engaging with your food is part of what makes us human.
Cooking and convenience don't always mix together smoothly. But local food isn't only about bags of unique produce and chef-inspired meals. It's also about smart business and serving a public that rarely cracks open a cookbook.
I'll start with the maple baked beans because it's been a real favorite today. We sell it dry in a product here, which is a combination of beans and a spice package. So and the instructions are on the back with a full nutritional value. So you can pick it up and it's ready to go. So we have sampled it cold here today and also prepared it in jars if people want to just eat it and go, or they can have it in a bag like this. This is one of 6 different products that are available. it's just been amazing how many people are really interested in to know where their food comes from. And as farmers, then you get a connection, the people buying the food get a real connection to who's growing the food for them. So we're finding that's really of interest to consumers.
Despite the beauty and the life of the local food movement, there still is a farm crisis today in Canada. The average age of the farmer is 57 years old. Farmers make less than they did during the Great Depression. And the young farmers who are starting to farm, they're often the ones who are leaving. But this is mostly in the industrial system. The farmers who are involved in the local food movement, they're just starting to figure out, but they are figuring out a way to make money, a way to make a living.
Elton's influence can be seen in the type of person who is learning about and is interested in the future of agricultural production.
What brought me here initially was I saw Sarah Elton speaking at on Province Wide for her book Locavore, and I basically went straight to my computer and decided that I needed to find out who this person was, what she was doing, and what her book was about. And so I did that, and then it said on her website that she was speaking at Savour Stratford Food Festival. And so over the last 3 or 4 years or so, I've really been diving into where our food comes from, industrial agriculture, GMOs, you know, the meat industry, things like that. And so in so doing, I've decided that local, sustainable, organic agriculture is the best way for our communities to go. And so yeah, and being that I'm unemployed right now, might as well go towards that as a career.
But for all the careful optimism and talk about the importance of local food, the reality of being a farmer is complicated. There are barriers to local food, and the answers won't be coming from between the covers of a best-selling book. When Eye on the Wall returns, keeping producers in the field.
There will be a price to pay.
The talk doesn't always totally translate into actions.